What's up, what's up? You are now listening to FY Fly the podcast, and I'm your host, Hassan Thomas, along with Remy, and we are here to share tools on how millennials can budget, save, invest, and understand student debt and credit to achieve financial freedom. If you're a high school student, college student, or someone who's interested in gaining more financial insight, this podcast is for you.
I'm tryna give me a bag. 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 I'm tryna give me a bag.
What's up, my fly folks out there? How y'all doing? I hope y'all doing all right. My name's Hassan Thomas, aka CEO Sonny, aka Primetime Junior, and I'm here with my co-host from the beautiful city of Houston, Texas, Remy G. What's up, General? How you feeling, bro?
I'm feeling great, man. We graduate next weekend, my boy. But how you feel, CEO? You just turned 23, huh?
Yes, sir. Just hit my Jordan year, man. Big 23. Go me, man. You know, a lot of people didn't even make it to see 18, bro, so I'm blessed.
Yes, sir. Many more years to come, my boy. Wishing longevity, health, and wealth for you, G.
I appreciate it, bro, but I'm glad you said that, because that's what we're here to talk about today, man, creating generational wealth. We have a very special guest, Mr. William Sweet of the Dallas Cowboys. And what's so special about this guy is, not only did he do what only 2% of athletes could do by making it to the NFL, my man actually created his own investment firm at 23.
At 23? That's crazy, bro. Because most athletes don't start thinking about entrepreneurship until they get old in their career because they realize they can't ball forever.
Facts. But you know what you can do forever and pass down to your kids and their kids? A generational business built on a solid foundation. So today we're going to talk about some misconceptions and harsh realities of entrepreneurship, the importance of building generational wealth, and turning earned income into passive income. So let's get active.
Hold on, son. Something don't feel right. Oh, yeah. We ain't giving my meaningful money quote.
Oh, yeah, you right. So since you called it, you might as well take it away, General.
Say less. I got you. Well, here at FY Fly, we like to start off our show with a meaningful quote about money. Y'all know this is a show about financial literacy. And financial literacy, at its simplest, is understanding not only how to budget your money, but being able to save and grow your money effectively and efficiently. Not too shabby, huh?
Aight, nah, boy, I see you.
So today's quote comes from the late, great Nipsey Hussle. Black people in America, people from the struggle, immigrants, it's no generational wealth that we're attached to. So we're tasked to create, in one generation, closing the gap. That's why we so doomsday about getting to the check, because it's life or death for real.
Yes, sir. So now let's get active. Entrepreneurship. It's crazy to think about it. 5 to 10 years ago, entrepreneurship was looked down on.
Probably because of the way our parents were taught in the old days. You know what I'm saying? Like before entrepreneurship really got popping, it was you go to school, get a good job, retire, then you die.
Now, being an entrepreneur is the hottest new thing. But one thing about it, though, you got to be dedicated. Just like with playing a sport, there's going to be some things you don't want to do. Early morning practices at 5, 6 a.m., 3-hour practices at the hottest time of the day, grinding. It's all a grind, though. But like I said a little earlier, with the solid foundation, that grind could turn into a profitable business that you could pass down from generation to generation. Generational wealth should be a goal for everyone, especially in the minority communities, because we've never had a true opportunity to build something that we could pass down to our children and our children's children.
And when we did, bro, it was taken from us, burnt down. Like, bro, just imagine how many black millionaires and billionaires would have come from Black Wall Street in Tulsa during the 1920s.
Exactly, bro. That's why using entrepreneurship to build generational wealth is so important, because your boss will never pay you enough to be his neighbor, and that's a fact. Having your own company has many benefits, like for one, you're your own boss. I remember my sophomore year, my head coach had told me, bro, I'll never forget it. He said, Hassan, man, I know you're not a disrespectful person, and I don't think you have a problem with authority, but authority has problems with you.
Bro, what does that even mean?
Meaning some of the coaches on the staff had problems with me and not the other way around. You know, when you have a natural light that shines inside you, some folks that got darkness in them going to try to put it out, but I'm going to shine forever, baby. Saying that to say, when you have your own business, you won't have to worry about people who feel they have the authority just because of their job title.
Facts. You are the authority. But with great power comes great responsibility, like Uncle Ben said.
All right now, Remy Parker.
Chill out, bro. But when you're running a business, you have the creative freedom to do whatever you please. You take on all the risks, but you also reap all the rewards as well. You also have the freedom to create your own hours, but that in itself comes with a potential downside. Since you're able to create your own hours, no one's forcing you to work.
I feel like one misconception about entrepreneurship, people feel like if they quit their job or graduate school and now have a whole bunch of free time, that will lead to more productivity. And sometimes that's not the case.
Yeah, bro, sometimes when you have a lot of free time compared to a scheduled out day, you tend to get less done. You end up staying in bed longer, doing things that aren't priority because you feel like you have all the time in the world. Then you look up and it's, 9 p.m.?
Nah, for real. One thing that can really help with your time management is planning out your schedule the day before. Every night before I go to bed, I create events on my calendar. If you don't have an iPhone, I'm sure Android has a calendar or reminders where you can create events. But what I like to do is set up those event reminders from my top priority and take care of those first. And if I don't get those priorities done, it's all right. I simply move that joint to the next day and I keep it pushing. But this really helps me to see all the things I know I need to do in one place so I can just knock them out by priority.
With being an entrepreneur, you don't want to try to remember everything you have to do. You will literally drive yourself crazy. Which brings us to our next point, man. Entrepreneurship is not all glitter and gold. When you get on Instagram and you see these entrepreneurs flexed up in these Lambos and Maybachs like athletes and rappers, it's because they earned it. You don't see what it took to get there. You only see the reward, the big payoff.
That boy said a big payback. But facts, bro. An athlete had to go through high school, college, and then get drafted. He didn't just stumble into that professional career. Lil Baby didn't just blow up off one hit. Young Boy didn't just blow up off one hit. They've been working for years, putting out mixtapes, doing tours, building a fan base for years. That's the same thing that you see with these entrepreneurs now popping out on social media. They all started with 0 followers and put that work in. According to the Small Business Administration, 20% of new businesses fail during the first 2 years of being open, 45% during the first 5 years, and 65% during the first 10 years. Only 25% of businesses make it to 15 years or more.
We're not saying this to scare anyone off, but we just want to give you guys the heads up because it's not all peaches and cream out there, baby.
You know, one question I like to ask some of the entrepreneurs that come on the show is, do you think everyone could be an entrepreneur? And most of them say yes. Everyone could be one, but it's not cut out for everybody. You got to be prepared and ready to step by yourself most of the time. You can't be afraid of what anybody got to say about you or what you got going on.
And that's what stops people from starting their business or chasing their dreams a lot of times, bro. Fear what other people would think. Like we said before, people going to talk about you whether you're doing good or you're doing bad. So you might as well do good for yourself and go build generational wealth.
Not only for you, but for your family as well. So let's talk about turning earned income into passive income. I'm so excited to talk about this because it's something that anyone can do, whether you're an entrepreneur or an employee. But since we're focusing on entrepreneurship, let's start with that first. My mentor, Ralph Jarvis Jr., has always said, multiple incomes are great, but it's about making multiple streams of passive income, getting money in your sleep. There are so many scenarios we can run through for y'all. So say you have a service-based business. You can only operate and make money if you're completing a service for someone else. So keeping that in mind, it's only so much you can do. It's only a certain amount of money you can make because it depends on that service you're providing for other people. So a way you can turn that earned income into passive income is starting an e-commerce business, an Amazon store, a Shopify store, and start making plays through there.
Bro, even creating an ebook or a course is another way to make money in your sleep. And that's what it's all about, monetizing your genius, taking something you're good at and teaching other people how to do it just as good, if not better than you. Now for our 9-to-5 employees, don't never let nobody shame y'all or talk down on y'all because entrepreneurship is popping right now. Y'all keep getting that steady for show money, but it's what you do with that paycheck that'll make the difference in building wealth for your future. You basically have to use your job as the bank to fund either your side hustle or just to fund your future retirement. So from 9 to 5, you're working for someone else's dream, and from 7 to 12, you're working to build your own dream, funded by them.
And that's back to that time management, bro. You won't be able to efficiently allocate your time if you don't have a plan. So make sure you have that plan ready to go. And even when your side hustle or your business begins really bringing in revenue, keep that 9-to-5 job. Keep stacking up until you're ready to make that leap into a full-time entrepreneur. But y'all sit tight. We finna take a quick break and slide into our insightful interview with Dallas Cowboy player and business owner, Mr. William Sweet. Let's go. Hold on now. You haven't heard about Anchor. It's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. First of all, it's free. They have creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast from your phone or your computer. Anchor will also distribute your podcast so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. You can also make money from your podcast, whether you have 200 listeners or 2,000. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. So download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Let's go. What's up, my fly folks out there? How y'all doing? I hope y'all doing all right. And today we are speaking with professional football player, Mr. William Sweet of the Dallas Cowboys. But y'all hold on up. That's not the only reason we got him here. My guy also owns his own investment firm called Sweet Ventures. Talk about black excellence, huh? How you doing, my man? Talk to us.
Yo, what's happening, man? Man, you over there sounding like Keith Sweat or something,
Yes.
man. You sure this ain't the radio?
No, man, this FY Fly the podcast, but you know we come
Oh,
with our
okay.
own flavor. You know that. You know.
Yeah, man.
Yes, sir. So, man, we happy to have you here. So, tell us a little bit about yourself, your background, and
Oh, man. William Sweet, risen from Jacksonville, Florida. Two-parent household, brother, sister, youngest, and the biggest. Only athlete in my family. Just always loved sports. Always loved competing just in anything and everything I do. So everything that I do, I try to be the best that I possibly can at it. And, just having that passion, that drive allowed me to be where I am today.
big facts, big facts. So, let's start back at your time at the University of North Carolina. Explain to us your college experience. How was that for you?
Man, it was so much fun. We ain't gonna speak too much on the radio. I mean, on the interview, but man, it was fun, man. It got me a chance to really be exposed to a lot of things that I liked, that I didn't like. Things that I could see myself doing outside of football, and I really got a chance to meet some of my friends that I consider now family for the rest of my life.
Okay, okay. So, I seen you won a competition while you was at UNC. Can you talk to us about that?
Yeah, man. So I met a professor who challenged me, Jim Kitchen, and he always told me that he wanted me to take his class. And I finally took it my sophomore year, and it was entrepreneurship 101. And at the time, I was playing during the season, and unfortunately, I ended up tearing my ACL while I was taking the course. And that allowed me to utilize more than just my physical attributes, but allowed me to use my entrepreneurship skills. And I got a chance to design a full leg cold compression sleeve concept that would help people recover quicker from, ACL surgeries. I always had the mentality of, if life gives you lemons, you make the best lemonade that you can possibly imagine. It's just not like, letting your situation define you or who you are. You know what I mean? You don't let your environment control you. You control your environment. So just wanted to turn something out of nothing. And we was able to compete against 200 other students in the Keenan Flagler Business School. And we were able to bring home first place. And again, I am not a member of the business school. I was a communication major. So essentially, in other words, I pissed a lot of people off, right? It's just like, one, who's this big black man in this event, right? That's the first thing. And two is like, oh snap, like he actually won and beat
We
all of
won
us.
that joint.
And three is kind of like, oh snap, he's not even in the business school. Like, so I pissed a lot of people off, you know what I mean? So just blessed to have a strong team around me, and it was a lot of fun putting that championship team, I call it, together. That was a championship team for me. Biggest championship I won.
Man, I love it. So, thinking about your college experience, thinking back on it, if you didn't play football, would you still have attended college, or would you have jumped just straight into entrepreneurship?
Oh, I definitely was going to college. Shout out to all my HBCUs. Mom and dad attended Florida A&M, and that's just all I know. FAMU, Florida A&M is just all I know. And are there any other HBCUs in the world? Oh, okay, that's a whole nother situation. But shout out to FAMU, the highest of Seven Hills. But I was always gonna go to college, but it just was a matter of where.
So, like I said a little earlier, we really wanted to bring you on the show because you're a young man with a considerable amount of money, but you're not out here blowing it on nonsense. You out here actually making your money go to work while you playing the sport that you love, man, and that's amazing. So tell us why, what made you start an investment firm instead of blowing your bag like many professional athletes still do to this day?
First, I want to kind of clear that up. I don't have any money. All of the money is tied up into the business that I run and control. So I have nothing. All right. So let's put that on the air. I got nothing. All of my businesses and assets are running on their own. I'm just, I'm just happy to be here.
That's what we need to be. That's what we
You
need
know
to
what I
be with
mean?
our money and them income producing assets.
Yeah. So, I look at it as, trying to limit my exposure in terms of ownership, in terms of, trying to personally, when I say that, I mean personally owning it. Like, for example, instead of me running a business and just my personal identity, you want to create a business. That's what I mean. I feel like sometimes that can kind of be taken out of proportion. But the point is, we want to have ownership in businesses that control, the assets that you have. So that's what I mean.
So why do you feel like ownership is such a big key, especially for us in the minority community?
I think ownership is essential because it allows you to have ultimate freedom. Take a job, for example, and there are different benefits of having that particular job. And there are also things that being an owner of that particular company can allow you to have versus you just being an employee, right? So what do I mean by that? To my understanding, there's three different types of wealth, right? You have, health is wealth, where everyone says that. If you can have all the money in the world, but if you're not healthy and, I mean, it's only so much time you're going to be on this earth if your health not right.
Basically pointless. Health as well.
Right. So it's like, yeah, you can have all the money in the world, but, if you're not taking care of your body and doing the things you need to do, it's pointless. The second one is time, right? You want to be able to have the luxury of spending your time and energy on things that you love doing, right? I mean, wouldn't it be amazing to not worry about not being able to take time to vacation or just, I don't know, whatever you like to do in your spare time. Like that's just a form of wealth, like time in itself. Like when people, get in trouble and they have to, go to prison or whatever, what do they take from them? Right? It's not, I mean, they may take, money and stuff like that, but the whole point of it is, okay, we're gonna give this man time. Yeah, we're gonna lock him up for, 10, 20, 30 plus, whatever, however years, right? Is time. I would argue, one of the greatest assets that anyone can have. And of course, another essential to it all is the financial component of it, of wealth, right? I mean, it's a certain point where you reach a rich mindset versus a wealthy mindset, right? And shout out to Versus and Swiss Beats and everybody on those good folks and Young Jeezy and Gucci Man. But I think that was a prime example of a rich mindset versus a wealth mindset, right? For those who don't know what I'm talking about, you had, Gucci and Jeezy who had some rough patches in the past, I can say. And, Gucci Man was taking shots at Young Jeezy about his outfit and, look at my opponent, man. I got a $6,000 outfit on. You wearing whatever you wearing. And look at me. I'm rich. Right? Jeezy's response was, man, I own half of Atlanta. Right? So it was just kind of like, you
straight drop the mic.
Right. You trying to stun on me with your little, brown outfit on that cost I don't know why he paid $6,000 for that, but that's neither here nor there. But but Jeezy response was like, man, like you can have all. I ain't know it was a fashion contest. I'm making real money. Like I'm building wealth through real estate.
He getting that $6,000 in residual passive income. You know what I mean?
So that's the key to it all, man. It's it's a mindset shift. Just from being flashy to actually having it, because a lot of people look like they got it, but it's really some people who really got it, and they don't even look like. I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's just kind of like, do you want to actually be rich, or do you actually want to like try to look rich? It's a two totally different thing. That's just kind of like, I think for the culture, for people who trying to understand wealth building and different mindsets, I think that was a great lesson.
I was there. What they say, don't go broke trying to look rich.
I mean, people are going to do what they want to do, but I wouldn't recommend it. I mean, because one, them people don't care about you anyway. Two, it's always going to be somebody else with more money than you, right? So it's kind of like, and that's another thing. Like with me, I don't chase money. Like I don't. And what I mean by that is like I want more freedom than the money. If that makes sense. Like I want to be able
I get you.
to have like control and live life on my own terms. Like that's what true financial freedom is. Like, I'm not saying you just go out and, you spend 30,000 in the streets on a Sunday night or, Monday night or whatever, but just being able to buy back your time. And I think if that's what someone wants to do, I think you have to start there trying to figure out how can I replace my earned income and turn it into passive.
So I definitely think it's important for us to start young with that mindset, and that's why it's incredible that you 23, I'm 22, and look at the conversations we're having. You know what I mean? And it's just a mindset shift that we're gonna be bringing upon our whole community. That's why I'm so happy to have you here, bro.
Man, happy to be here, man. God is good.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, man, don't get me wrong. I know you said you ain't had no money, but man, I seen that Rolls Royce sitting up in the driveway on your Instagram, man. So you got to tell us how you are keeping a balance of spending versus saving, because that's
Man,
what it's all about, having that proper balance.
man, the Fed's listening. Man, what money? But no, man, it's just all about. I think there are three different components of money that
Mhm.
are critical. I think it's all about a balance. It's just something that I live by. Earning it, right? Whatever you're good at or whatever is providing you earned income. I feel like you have to master that, whatever it may be, and grind. Do it to the best of your ability and turn that into passive income as quickly as you possibly can. The second component I think is important is enjoying it, right? A lot of
Mhm.
people, grind, 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 and not necessarily enjoying the process of it. I mean, it's definitely okay to reward yourself. I'm not saying, do nothing crazy, but it's perfectly fine to reward yourself. I mean, that's why, I mean, work hard, play harder. You know what I mean? That's just,
Definitely.
something that I live by, but we ain't gonna talk about that. I'm over here in Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? So,
That
yeah,
Black
yeah, yeah.
Hollywood, huh?
Black Hollywood, man. I love it. Ain't nothing like it. Ain't nothing like it,
Yeah.
man. But that's a whole nother conversation. We ain't gonna talk about that right now, But and then the last thing that I think is important when it talks about money is
Mhm.
giving. You know, whether it's to church or helping strangers, family, whatever. I'm not saying you break the bank and just give it all away, but I think it's three different components of money because money is a tool, right? That's all it is. It's literally like currency. It's paper. It's coins. Like it's just
Mhm.
that's all it is. But sometimes people tend to make it more than that, and I think when there's a scarcity mindset of money, people tend to tap into an emotional state behind it, and
Definitely.
you just have to realize that in reality, money is just money. It's a tool. I mean, money is literally just money. You know what I'm saying? And people try to make it more than that, which I understand that there are necessities and things that, come behind that. I'm not saying that's not true, but I'm just saying like we have to look at money as a tool versus like it's a
An
limited supply.
emotional attachment.
Yeah, like they print money. They just, I think 1.9 trillion or something like that. Like they just keep printing more money, more money, more money. You know what I mean? So it's just like
Mhm.
don't be afraid to go get it because like it's enough money for all of us. That's why I don't feel like not share information or teach
Mhm.
people about this stuff because it's like it's literally enough money for everybody.
So
Like,
did someone teach you how to manage your money, or did you have any like mentors growing up who were financially, educated?
man, I would say my mentor, man. I first got to college. We had to be there all
Mhm.
year doing football, of course. But I told them straight up, I was like, man, look, y'all got me here all year. You know what I'm saying? Summer, winter, spring. I want to work. I want to make some money. You know what I mean? Like I'm in college.
Yeah.
You know how that is.
Most
But
definitely.
anyway, I just think that my mentor really exposed me to a lot of different things in life that interest me, such as,
Mhm.
owning a business, such as investing into startups, such as investing into the public market, aka the stock market, and just building long-term wealth. And it doesn't happen overnight, but like I said, it goes back to that mindset of rich versus wealthy mindset. I think that's truly what separates the two is just the mindset of how people look at certain things, right? Like for example,
Mhm.
there are millionaires and billionaires, and you wouldn't be able to tell why because they're not wearing the money that they have. I mean,
Thanks. They don't wear
and
it
that,
well.
and it's certain people. I'm not saying that you can't, treat yourself and do it all. Like I'm just saying that there are literally millionaires and billionaires where if you looked at them, you wouldn't be able to tell why because they don't care about it. right? They'd rather actually have the money than looking like they got it, if that makes sense. I'm not saying you can't treat yourself. Just put that out on there because, the internet, they'll flip anything on you.
Yep, flip the story. Now you gotta issue a public apology.
But you know what? Even if they do flip it, I mean, that's just how they took it. You know what I'm saying? And they can't do nothing to me. You know what I mean? So plus, what I'm saying is like facts. Like if you ask a millionaire or a billionaire what the favorite part about their lifestyle is, I promise you it won't be I get to buy a $1,000 jacket in Gucci or Louis or whatever. I promise you it won't be that. It will probably be along the lines of I get to wake up every single day doing what I love and doing whatever I want to do when I want to do it. That is the separation between a wealth versus rich mindset. It's like, okay, instead of me looking like I got it, I'm actually about it and I'm going to do it. It's just that.
I think that's one of the biggest, benefits of financial freedom, financial independence that we're all trying to reach is just being at that time freedom, like you've been saying.
Yeah, man, that's the goal, man. It's just free, like freedom. Think about it, like how much we've been fighting for freedom as a culture in this country, right? We still, somewhat enslaved in many capacities, whether it's the prison system, the education system, or just systematic racism. That system is just we freedom is priceless. Literally, like you can't put a certain amount of money on your freedom, bro. Like just think about what we've been through as a culture. I mean, reparations would be good. It would be good to get that we never received. They say 400 acres and a mule. I ain't seen 400. I ain't seen 400 bag of chips and a soda. Like I ain't getting nothing.
Yeah.
You got something?
Nah, we had to work for everything we got.
That's what I'm saying. So it's just like, and I'm not, I just never been the type of person to sit and wait on the next man. Like, I can't tell you what he gonna do. I'm gonna tell you what I'm gonna do. Matter of fact, I ain't even gonna tell you what I'm doing. I'm just gonna do it and tell you, okay, I just did that. Like, that's just how I think. Like, if I want something, I'm going to get it. Like, anybody know me? That's how I was rocking. Like, it ain't no ifs, ands, buts. Like, if I want something, it's done. Like, there ain't nothing you can do. Nobody's like, that's all on me.
I feel that, bro. So you ain't got a name drop or nothing, but how would you say the financial education is around the locker rooms that you've been in? Because you played for the Cowboys and for the Cardinals, correct?
That's correct. And the 49ers.
Okay. So how would you say the financial education was around those locker rooms?
I would, not just limit it to those 3 or 2 team locker rooms. I would say as a whole, not just to single out the NFL, but just our culture in itself needs more awareness about financial literacy and financial empowerment. I feel like that whether people are in a locker room that I've shared space with in or not, there needs to be a huge increase in awareness of making the right financial decisions for your life and for your future. Because I mean, literally, your future is dependent on you. Like the work that we do today, how hard we work and our success and failures are going to dictate us in 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. Like that's just facts. Like if you go out and you do something crazy and you looking at 20 to life in prison, like, you still suffering from that decision that you made today.
And that's the same thing with finances. If you go out there and mess up your credit, that could take you years to rebuild your credit.
100%. So that's why I think it's critical, because like literally your future is dependent on today.
So is money management discussed at all in the league, or what kind of, what's going on?
They have a few different like seminars or programs where athletes can click along or follow along, if you will, to learn about it if they want to, but it's not such as interactive as I think it should be, because I just think it's, especially when you have young men and young women, touching huge contracts, literally in their early 20s. If you don't manage it well, then you're gonna be SOL. When you older. I mean, we all know that one person, that uncle or whoever that played in the NFL, the NBA, or professional sports, and they may be doing some things right now that they don't really enjoy because they have to do it.
Yeah.
They may have not made the best decisions when they were younger. So a lot of people gonna learn the hard way, and sometimes life is the best teacher sometimes. So I never try to preach or like force anyone to learn things that they're not interested in. I always make sure that anyone and like people can vouch for me because I've had numerous people that genuinely appreciated the things that I've shared with them on helping them learn how to build wealth because they asked me, like they took their time to ask me, like, hey man, how do you do this? And I make sure I took my time to give back that energy to them so they can better themselves. Because like I said earlier, it's all about exposure. So if I can share something via social media or in person about something that I've learned and it only helps one person in life, and I feel like I've done my job because it's bigger than me. So I'm just here to educate, inspire, and motivate,
Big facts. Big facts.
and have a
So
little
just
fun in the making. Shout out to
got
Atlanta,
to.
Black Hollywood again.
Got to. You can't leave that out.
Get at me, Instagram Sweet 904.
So talk to us about being in these locker rooms, playing for those huge contracts, like you were saying. Does that change the dynamic of, the sport compared to college and high school? What's your thoughts on that?
Man, it's definitely a difference. Anytime you involve money, right? Things change quick. You know what I'm saying? So it's definitely a job. It's a very difficult job in terms of the amount of pressure and the amount of level of performance that's required to the consistency that's required, and also the wear and tear on your body, both mentally, physically, and emotionally. And
Mm.
also the social component, right? Everyone, puts pressure, or not really puts pressure, but you have a social media presence that people can roast you or make fun of you. Like let's say you missed the game winning shot, right? And or if you're McGregor, or if you're Nate Robinson, or if you're
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who anybody else who got knocked out recently, but just the memes. It take a strong person, okay. I just got knocked out on national TV, and now they got memes of me talking about they smoking on the Nate Robbie pack, and they doing this and that, and it's like like that's forever. Like
Yeah,
it's the internet. It's like it's there. Like so you always be
most
remembered
definitely.
for that. So it's just kind of like you got to be a strong person to step in because it ain't for everybody. Like everybody talk that big boy, but it ain't for everybody.
It's just crazy because what 20, 30 years they didn't have none of those memes. They didn't have none of that stuff. They just had
Right.
Sports Center, and then it was over with. So
Worry
let's
about that.
jump back into your
We ain't talking
company,
about that.
Sweet Ventures.
All
So
right.
tell us more about that. What you guys invest in, and talk to us about that.
All right. So Sweet Ventures is an investment firm focusing on real estate, stocks, and cryptocurrency. I just believe that if it make money, it makes sense. And the stocks are dedicated for long-term holdings and positions, and we only focus on blue chip companies.
So what does
So,
that mean for the people that may not know?
so your blue chip stocks are more so the more familiar stocks and companies, such as like Nike, Amazon, Google, Yahoo,
Mm,
Coca-Cola, Sprite. Pretty much your Fortune 500 companies that are like
okay.
well-established companies that will be here after you, that have been here before you, and will always be here. So I only invest in companies that I know are going to be around.
Okay, so you're
So
looking for longevity, and what else are you looking for when you make an investment?
also, I want to make sure that they have a good team around them. Starting from the CEO to management
Hmm.
level, you want to make sure that they have a good. It's just like anything. Like you don't want to be a part of a team that's doing crooked and illegal stuff, right? So just make sure you vet your company's leadership team. Also, you want to make sure that you believe in the product. It's
Hmm.
good. It's good. I mean, the whole reason that you're doing it is for money and freedom. But if you don't believe in the actual company or business, then how can you invest into something and give it your all or believe in it, right? It's like if I hate Coca-Cola, I don't like the way it tastes. I never. I don't enjoy drinking Coca-Cola. Like, why would I invest in a Coca-Cola? I mean, yeah, you can say to make money, but there are other things that you can invest in that you can drink that can make you just as much money. So that goes back to in the following your passion and following things that you love to do, not just with investing, but in life. Like focus and spend your energy on things that you love the most. Because we only got one life.
Facts, because you going to buy the iPhone anyways. You might as well buy the stock. You'll
Man,
put some money back in your
you
pocket.
going you gonna buy the iPhone. You're gonna get fresh to the club. You're gonna buy bottles at the club that you can get for $20 around the corner at the liquor store. We ain't gonna talk about that. That's a whole nother story. You gonna be
Yeah.
fresh. You're gonna have your hair and your nails did. You're gonna have, you know what I'm saying? You know, you got Ruth Chris and STK and
Ooh,
all this
hold
stuff.
on, man.
Oh, okay. My
Man,
bad.
we
My
trying to
bad.
we trying to save money, man. You talking about the roof, Chris?
Well, I'm just saying
That's,
people I'm saying like what people spend money on already, like they can take
yeah,
some of that same money and invest into themselves, if that makes
most
sense.
definitely.
Because that's the best investment you'll ever make. I mean, it's in yourself, you know what I mean? Like applying knowledge and learning about
You
things
know,
that you enjoy.
I'm glad you said that because what are some ways that our folks listening can invest into themselves? Self improve.
Well, I think the first thing is exposure and knowledge, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Just learning about different things that interest them, especially when it comes to investing. If you love cars, right? Instead of
Mm-hmm.
you buying the brand new Tesla, the 2021 model, why not invest into the Tesla stock that will eventually produce you income for the rest of your life that you can buy your Tesla with the Tesla stock money? Like it just make it just
Exactly.
that's what I mean by investing to yourself. Let's say which is not the case. I don't care about clothes, but if I was a big
Mm.
designer guy and I'm go with Louis Vuitton, Gucci, which is all owned by the same company, by the way. Louis Vuitton,
Mm.
Moet Hennessy, LVMH, which is listed on the stock market. You know,
Talk to him.
instead of me paying $1,000 for a Gucci sweater, right? I can buy like 4 or 5 shares of LVMH that will produce dividends, which is me being paid by this company as an investor, and the stock will keep appreciating and appreciating, where I can then take profits from my initial investment over time, and then I can go buy, $1,000 sweater or whatever it is, and not feel guilty because, like, technically, you didn't spend your money; you spent the money that you earned off the money that you put in.
So I'm not gonna sit here, man, and act like I didn't see your company, Sweet Ventures, had a partnership with NASA. You gotta lace us up about that, man. How did that come about?
Shout out to the NFLPA externship program. They allowed us to choose our partner groups from it was about 30 different companies all over the country, and each athlete who wanted to participate could pick up to three. And I ended up choosing NASA and some other ones. But what interested me was that this entrepreneurship program that NASA was offering focused
Mm.
on commercialization of NASA's technology, which means that NASA focuses on space, right? That means all of the technology is devoted only for space, right? It's literally out of this world technology just sitting here on Earth being wasted because it's designed for space. So the program was to take entrepreneurs and also athletes to help build a team and build a product or a concept to take this same technology for space travel to apply here on Earth. And it was just an amazing program where I got a chance to focus on clean and renewable energy and
Okay.
focusing on solar power and different alternative energy, which is something that I'm interested in, passionate about.
Okay. So how were you able to relate that back to what Sweet Ventures does?
Well, what we are essentially doing is we're actually creating a startup
Mm-hmm.
company partnering with NASA. So the conjunction with that and with my investment firm is that in the future, I'll be able to negotiate ownership rights
Mm-hmm.
within the renewable space company.
Mm-hmm.
And essentially, I am a business, like in terms of me being the founder and the CEO. So, and plus it's in the same realm of startup and entrepreneurship and business. So it's just a collaboration at an ownership and equity level that I own 100% of my LLC, Sweet Ventures, and I also own part ownership of the space company. So this kind of ties in all together.
So talk to us about what you guys have planned for this year. I know you guys finished real strong Q4 of last year. Talk to us about that.
In terms of the real estate side or the space side or the stock side?
Talk to us about that real estate, man. Put us
On
on
the real
game.
estate. So we've been very blessed, man. God is good. It's a blessing to be a blessing, believe it or not, man. It really is a blessing to get back to the community. But we actually just completed our sixth property in the state of Florida.
Wow.
Majority of our properties are located in Jacksonville, Florida. That's where I'm from. Shout out to Duval County for those that don't know.
Yes, sir.
But I love my city. If you didn't know, you know now. And I just want to truly give back to my community, give back to my people, and help expose individuals to different opportunities that they can empower themselves. And this is actually in works as we speak. We're actually going to launch a financial literacy program or nonprofit.
Okay.
And we're going to partner with different high schools and middle schools and boys and girls clubs and just different organizations in my hometown where we can truly give back and set up workshops, and it's gonna be big, man. We're gonna get you on board and everything. We'll send you all the information, but
most stuff.
I just feel a lot of people ask me why. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't have to do what I do. I don't have to teach people this or talk to people about it. But the God honest truth is, like, I just love it, bro. I want to see other people win. I want to see other people be successful. And I think as an offensive lineman, right? Like, we don't score, we don't tackle, like we have zero stats, right? So you have to play an offensive line. I'm tying this together as an offensive lineman. You have to truly love what you do because you want to see others succeed, right? Think about it.
Fact.
What lineman is scoring touchdowns? I mean, on a consistent basis. Like it's like our joy or why I do what I do is because I can block for Ezekiel Elliott. I can block for Dak Prescott. I can block for these other guys to succeed, and I'm genuinely happy for them because when they do good, we all do good. When I do good, they do good. So it's just kind of like that's just how my approach is on life.
Do you agree that real estate is one of the best vehicles to reach financial freedom? And if so, then why?
Absolutely. I think real estate is the best way to achieve financial freedom?
One of the best ways.
Well, I just put out there. I think it's the best because it allows you to have your assets cover your liabilities. Well, what do I mean by that? Right? Let's say I have $2,000 a month that I have to spend in order to survive in terms of food and all that, rent and all that, right? So my goal is to figure out how can I make $2,000 a month for the rest of my life without me ever going to work, right? And once you consider real estate, which allows you to do that, it allows you to buy back your time back and allows you to have more freedom, and therefore your assets will cover your liabilities. So that's what I was saying earlier. I know I was using stocks as an example, but the same mindset applies. Like if I save up to 10 bands or whatever, or I was blessed, someone blessed me with 10 bands or whatever. Instead of me blowing the whole 10, like let's invest some of that stuff into yourself and creating your own business. That way you can create a $2,000 a month income for the rest of your life, which means that you're essentially free, right? Like if you have no bill, like think about this. If you had no bills, you know how much money you have?
Man.
Think about that. If you had zero bills, right? What would you have to pay for, right? I mean, think about it. If you didn't have to worry about rent, didn't have to worry about food or whatever, you just literally living your life doing. Now you can work if you want to. I'm not saying it's bad to work. I'm just saying that if people are interested in learning how to build wealth, real estate, in my opinion, is one of the best ways, if not the best way to build wealth.
I agree. So could you tell us some advice that you would give a young man or a young woman pursuing a career as a professional athlete?
Man, honestly, man, I would, say give it your best and let God do the rest. In addition to working extremely hard as you possibly can, enjoying the process, and just doing what your coaches ask you to do. And I think this is probably the most important rule, whether you become a professional athlete or not, just have fun. You know, I think I know for me, like I've reached a point where I don't want to do anything unless I'm having fun doing it. Like that's just kind of like where I am in my life, and I'm blessed to be able to say that. But it's true. I really want to spend time and focus on things that I love and enjoy doing. I just want to have fun, bro. I get it. You know, life is short and all that kind of stuff. But with us knowing all of that, like I mean, being broke is hard. Building wealth is hard, and you know, you can sit here and say, you know, well, no one likes me and the world is against me. Or you can say, man, I don't care what the world got going on. I'm gonna stand on my 2 feet and go get it out the mud. So it's two totally different mindsets, and anything is possible, bro. Like I said, they literally have people flying in space like right now as we speak. You know what I'm saying? So I just believe if people can be flying above our head, like in space, like we can do anything on this earth, like literally. Like cars driving themselves, like phones talking, like whatever you want to do, you can do it. You know, I would say create a plan, you know, what that person, young man or young woman goals may be, and create a plan and just attack it every day. Your plan and your habits and your daily behavior, your daily routine should reflect that ultimate goal. If your goal is,
Big
you
facts.
know, if your goal is to lose, okay, 10 pounds by summer, we coming, hot girl summer and all this stuff coming up. You know, we ain't gonna talk about that.
Yeah.
But if your goal is to, okay, I want to lose 10 pounds by summer, okay, well you need to be working
Uh-huh.
out. Feel me?
Mm-hmm.
Like that's just simple.
Most definitely.
It's no different than anything else in life. Like if you want something, you got to go get it. You got to create a plan. So anything, like if you fail to plan, then you plan to fail.
Big facts, man. Yo, boy, yeah, dropping them gems. Yes, sir. So tell us two lessons. One lesson that you learned from your time playing in the league, and one lesson that you learned as your time from being an entrepreneur.
One lesson that I learned from playing in the NFL,
Mm-hmm.
they work too damn hard. That's one thing I learned, man. I learned that I learned that I learned what I really enjoyed doing while playing in the NFL. What I mean by that is I learned that I enjoy freedom and entrepreneurship and business more than playing football. Like like I,
Oh wow.
like I love business. I love what football and sports teach you in terms of discipline and hard work and work ethic and things like that. But playing in the NFL, especially in a pandemic, right? Whether you
Mm-hmm.
playing in the NFL or not, just have like working or in this pandemic environment, I learned that to spend your time doing things that you love and enjoy doing. And I got to make some decisions in the future whether or not that I will continue playing in this type of environment. Because it's just like
Mm-hmm.
like I said earlier, it's three types of wealth. You got health, financial, and you got time. And I feel like not just the NFL, but I feel like a lot of jobs rob you or can rob you of one, if not all three, especially the time, right?
Yeah.
Like I said earlier, like I want to spend time and focus on things that I truly love and enjoy doing. And if I love and enjoy doing something, I don't consider it work. So notice that I said that we work too damn hard.
Mm-hmm.
I think that went over some people's head, but yeah,
No, we catching that.
yeah. I mean,
Just
just if you love what you do, you'll never feel like you. I mean, you'll never work a day in your life. I mean, if you love what you do. So I just think that that's something that I learned. I learned that I learned a lot about myself during the quarantine. I learned what I enjoyed doing and what I didn't enjoy doing. Sometimes working at from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. every single night in a pandemic wearing a mask, working out with a mask and, running with a mask on in a pandemic and trying to eat food with a mask on
uh
and trying to drink. I mean, it's just like, bro, it's just like it just comes to a point. It's like, what are we doing? Like,
mm-hmm.
so that's a whole nother conversation. But I learned a lot about myself and working from a pandemic. Keep in mind we're in a pandemic, right?
Yeah.
I think people fail to realize that. So especially my shout out my people in Florida, man. We and Atlanta,
I was just gonna say,
man, that more wide
Black
open, boy.
Hollywood too.
Man, that thing wide open, boy. That thing jumping. But we ain't gonna talk about that, man. We ain't gonna get nobody in trouble, but make sure y'all stay at home and wear your mask and wear both masks, fellas. But that's another conversation. But yeah, man, y'all just gotta be safe out here, man, and keep enjoying life and doing what you do best.
So what about your biggest lesson as a journey from an entrepreneurship standpoint? What have you learned?
One lesson I learned is that if I'm going to work as hard as I possibly can, I'm going to make sure that I work hard to create something for myself that I can have for the rest of my life, not for someone else's dream or someone else's future. That's just the reality of it. So it's just kind of like, are you building to create? Are you working this hard to create your future, or are you working this hard to create someone else's future? I'd rather spend that time and energy building something for myself, such as a company or my own business, that I can truly benefit all of the benefits of that versus me, doing it all over again the next morning and the next day and the next day and wearing your mask. Like, bro, we playing football in the middle of a pandemic. Like, I don't get it. Like, it's crazy to me. Like, it's just, I don't know. Maybe.
Man, them dollars don't lie, man. Them dollars don't lie.
And that's why I said what I said in terms of you have to put yourself and your health and your wealth first, because if you don't, who else will? If you die today, your job on the application tomorrow. And they ain't coming to your funeral.
They gonna be on LinkedIn. They gonna be on Indeed.
Yeah. So
they gonna be on the free agent signing list. Gotta look for the free agents.
Yeah, man. Yeah, bro.
Man, so I got one more question for you, boss man. So I'm gonna read you two quotes, and you gotta tell me which one is more accurate in your opinion. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
So my first quote is, "Money can't buy happiness," and my second quote is, "More money, more problems." Which one is more accurate in your opinion?
Well, money can't buy happiness, bro. That is true. I think that is probably more accurate than the last one that you said. I truly believe that, because it can't, like, happiness can't be purchased. Like, you can't go anywhere. It's like, hey, can I buy some happiness? Like, it don't work like that.
Yeah.
I truly believe happiness comes from within, loving yourself and loving others, and first and foremost, loving God. I just truly believe that having joy and being able to appreciate the little things in life and truly being happy. I'm not talking about like pump faking, like, okay, I just bought a new car, I'm happy. I'm talking about truly happy. Like, bro, it's a beautiful day today. Like I just want to enjoy today. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like chirping with the birds. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you just you living your, like, that's
inner joy.
Yeah, like that's what living my best life means to me. Like, you truly, just a genuine happy person because you're attempting to be that way. And not to say that, everything can be all cool, calm, and collective, but it's not about if things are cool, calm, and collective. It's about you realizing that things aren't going to be cool, calm, and collective all the time, but you're still able to enjoy life, right? Now that's what happiness is to me. Like, some people, what make them happy may be buying something materialistic. I'm not a materialistic person. One, I don't care that much. Two, I really don't care at all, right? In terms of like trying to impress people that, one, don't know me and I don't even care about or don't even know. And three, like, bro, like that stuff is it's childish, bro. Like what Gucci said to Jesus, like, look at my opponent. I got on 6,000 out. So what? Like, bro, that buying $6,000 worth of clothes don't make me happy. I don't, maybe somebody else do, but that's just not me. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just not me. What make me happy is having freedom to do whatever I want to do within reason, where I don't have to do something I don't enjoy doing in the middle of a pandemic wearing masks when you work out or run.
Man, you gotta stop sending these shots, man. Man over here sneak this.
It is what it is. I ain't never been hard to find. But that's a whole nother conversation. But that's what truly make me happy, bro. I mean, I try to answer your question. And money can bring more problems if you let it. Don't get it twisted now. It definitely will help. It definitely will help. But
Uh-huh.
I'm just in terms of like think about it. Kanye West, he went through depression, and it's been tons of Deion Sanders, right? Like he tried to kill himself. I don't know if a lot of people knew
Yeah,
that.
I seen that the other week.
Deion Sanders said that he felt empty inside. It's one of the greatest players ever played the game alive.
Fact.
He said he felt empty inside. He said, "Man, I tried to drive off this cliff and just end it all. I had money, power, and sex. I'm prime time. You know what I mean? But he wasn't happy, so it wasn't worth it. Like he was about to take his own life, bro, because he wasn't happy. So yeah, money don't buy happiness, but it definitely will help. But money is just an enhancement of who you really are.
Big facts, bro. Like I was saying, man, I appreciate your time. Thanks for joining us on FY Florida Podcast. Let the audience know where to reach you. You got any final words? Go ahead, boss.
Man, God is good. Blessings to everybody. Follow me on Instagram, Sweet904. Sweet904. Blessings to everybody. Stay safe, everybody, and you can do anything you put your mind to.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now we're going to take it back to Remy G and me for one of our favorite segments called Did You Know? Let's go.
Welcome back to FY Florida Podcast. And y'all know what time it is, but maybe y'all don't. But me and Mr. Make a Play finna let y'all know. Did you know 62% of billionaires are self-made?
Did you know 15 million Americans are full-time self-employed?
Did you know 62% of adults believe entrepreneurship is a good career?
Did you know there are 582 million entrepreneurs in the world?
Did you know 83% of U.S. business owners started their own companies?
Did you know 26% of entrepreneurs say their biggest motivation for starting their own business was the idea of being their own boss?
To wrap everything up for y'all, entrepreneurship is hard. Being broke and living paycheck to paycheck is hard.
Working your whole life for someone's company is hard. Starting a business from the ground is hard. So choose your heart and rock out with it.
The thing I found since I started my company, HRT Enterprises, in 2019, man, if you don't do the work, no one will. It sounds simple, bro, but if you're not moving forward every day, then you're falling behind. Because I guarantee you, your competition is perfecting their craft and taking that market space from you. So if you choose to go the entrepreneurial route, remember to give it your all.
And like my bro CEO likes to say, entrepreneurship is just like baseball. You just got to keep swinging until you hit a home run, baby.
Facts, General. And for the actionable items of today's show, whether you're working a 9-to-5 or making that jump to full-time entrepreneur, we need y'all to think of a problem in your community, a problem in the world, or even a problem for you. I'm sure some others have the same problem as you, so once you get that problem, try to figure out a solution.
Think of things that you're good at in this digital and information-driven world we live in, and find a way to monetize that. People will pay for direct information because it's valuable. Whether it's an e-course, e-book, these things will turn into passive income.
No cap. We got to turn that earned income into passive income so we're making money in our sleep and creating generational wealth to pass down to our kids and our kids' kids. So I hope y'all learned a lot today, and we'll see y'all next week. Stay safe,
Stay invested,
and stay fly.
Thank you all for listening to FY Fly the podcast, and we hope you enjoyed the show. Tune in next week for more financial literacy insights with our special guest. Please visit our website, social media platforms, and subscribe to our YouTube channel at FYI Fly Podcast. That's FYI FLI Podcast. See y'all next week, and stay fly.
Sometimes I